Community theater brings inspiration, entertainment, and art to the forefront of local culture, making it an important contributor to a city's richness. Owning and operating a nonprofit theater is a tough business. However, according to the National Endowment for the Arts, average revenue, ticket sales, and contributions for nonprofit theaters in the United States have been declining since the recession in 2001. Despite these challenges, the number of nonprofit theaters in the United States has doubled since 2005, making each theater's market share substantially smaller. Opera House Theater Company has been inspiring audiences and artists since 1985. That's 33 years. This community theater company is redefining the theater and arts community through its passion, performance, education, and far-reaching network of top-tier talent. Many of their actors have gone on to perform in popular Broadway shows and on cruise lines. Opera House Theater Company is known regionally for the high level of its productions and talented performers. Under new management, Opera House Theater Company has a vision for a bright future. Find out what the company is doing to revive community theater and illuminate the arts community. Enjoy exclusive on-stage footage of live performances and behind-the-scenes interviews with the stars themselves. All of this and more when we return from a short commercial break. Stay tuned. We're with Justin Smith, the art director and manager of Opera House Theater Company. These guys do such a great job, but you know what a lot of our viewers don't realize, or maybe they do,
right,
is when you go to a performance and you see the singers and the dancers and the actors, you don't stop and think that there were set directors and there were choreographers training the dancers. And there's all this other stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yes, absolutely. There's so much that goes into it, and the creative team is really what makes Opera House Opera House. We have a unique, unbelievable pool of folks to draw upon, and it's an honor to work with them. I've worked with several of them as an actor. I've worked with several of them. I had my own theater company myself. I worked with several of them. They worked for me, I guess.
Yes.
We worked together on that level, but to be able to have that pool at my call whenever I need to right now is quite a remarkable thing. I'm enjoying it.
What goes into producing a play? Now you have Mamma Mia coming up.
Mamma Mia's coming up.
What went into producing Mamma Mia?
We get our creative team together. We look at the pool and say, what's this type of dance or it's this type of show? Let's put Ray Kennedy. This is right up his alley to be able to choreograph, move it. Let's put him at the helm. Terry Collins does most of our set. We put everybody in place that needs to be put in place, and then we go to the meat of it and get to the bones of what the budget's going to be. We map out the budget. We come up with an audition date. We announce it, and we have auditions.
I'm telling you, from London theaters to New York theaters, some of the most successful are the smaller venues.
There's nothing like watching a show in this size house and smaller. There really isn't. You're never. You really are a part of the experience. And then when you add to it the historic element, I think it's 114 straight years of doing business at. The unheard of, unprecedented, really historic theater that we have. They do a great job over there. We're blessed to be a part of it, and we're blessed to have that size of house to perform in.
Now tell me something, Justin. Ticket sales can't support local community theater. It's just not enough revenue.
Right.
So you depend on donors.
Yes.
Tell me about your donor programs. How does that work?
Yeah, well, we have a normal, successful, normal, not-for-profit theater company would run anywhere 60% ticket sales to 40% donor advertising, donations, sponsorships.
Right.
Opera House has not had that. In fact, the last company that I had ran 99% ticket sales, and we were able to make money, but as a really rare case. To be able to rent the facilities, to be able to pay the rights for a 600-seat theater, we really need to get to that 60-40 split.
Yeah.
The sponsorships, there's three ways that you can help Opera House, but you can advertise in our programs. And that begins anywhere from $100 for the whole season for an 8th page and goes all the way to $2,500 if you want the inside cover.
Yeah.
You can sponsor a program, which actually underwriting, we call it, which you can underwrite 1 show, 3 shows, or the whole season. And you can just donate.
Tell me about Jason Aycock. He's been part of Opera House for a long time also. He and his wife Heather.
Heather, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Just lovely people. Jason has been involved with children's, some type of children's theater or teaching dance to kids for years and years and years, and as great an actor, triple threat actor, performer as he is, his real skill set is teaching these young kids. As soon as I got this job in August, that was one of the first things I honed in on. I said, Jason, I want to start this program. I need you with me, and he has been up for the challenge. It's been
Lastly, tell me about Kendra. She's also been with Opera House for a long time.
She has, and she and I are friends. I guess I'm friends with all of these folks, but we're friends first. She was my first babysitter for my kid. She is somebody who literally has reshaped Wilmington theater. Who, if you've been to a Wilmington production, you've probably seen her.
What does the future hold for this family of actors and actresses and dancers and singers?
Our mission statement in one sentence is providing professional quality theater in a community setting. So we want to continue to do that.
Justin Smith, thank you so much for being on today. And I just think you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. And we'll revisit in a year and see how things are going. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We now are going to be talking to Laureen Walsh. Laureen has been the head musician for Opera House for how many years?
The head musician for Opera House since 2003 when we did Chicago. I played in the pit since 1995.
So for 20 years you've been doing it, for 15 you've been in charge. Almost
Basically,
15 years. Tell me what some of the challenges are.
Initially casting the right person, the right voice to sing those particular songs for any show. The hardest thing is hiring musicians. We have a lot of really good musicians in this area, and I have a lot of people that are kind of routinely in my pit for any given show. But finding the right musician for the right show.
Theater demands something from an orchestra in the pit that maybe isn't required someplace else, if they're playing in a nightclub scene, for example, or on a stage.
Yeah.
I would think that the music demands for a play must be different, because you need an extra pound on the cymbal for some kind of a big movement. Is that true?
Yes, and Ray Kennedy, one of our directors, routinely adds in drum rim shots or cymbal crashes or whatever to accent the choreography that he has chosen. We end up following the singer. We're accompanists, essentially, in the theater. We kind of get in a groove. People play or sing songs essentially the same way, but every night is different because the audience may react differently. So it's a matter of listening very carefully and following what the person is doing, following me, and I need to be a good accompanist and follow what they're doing.
Is there anything strange and unusual after 20 years that you've had to deal with?
Well, occasionally.
Have you ever had an actor
Yes.
fall into the pit, for example?
No, thank you
Good.
God, although I've been told a story of one lady who did that prior to me being involved. We've not had accidents in that regard. We have had things. Ray's real fond of telling his actors to throw costume pieces or whatever props into the pit when they're done with them, just because they need to get them off the stage, and it's a quick and easy way to do it.
Now, let me ask you a question, Lorene. On a personal level, you've been battling with cancer
Yes,
for how long?
since last fall, September of last fall.
Does that preoccupy your mind when you're playing, or when you're playing, does it take you away from
It
thinking
takes
about
me
it?
away. When I'm playing the piano, I'm off in another world. The realities of living with cancer have nothing to do with that. So that's one of the main reasons I enjoy it so much.
What's the prognosis for your cancer?
It's not great. There is no cure at this moment for my cancer. On the other hand, right now I'm good. Cancer's stable. I'm able to perform and do some of the things that I really love doing. So, I'm a walking answer prayer. I've had a ton of prayers on my behalf, and I'm enjoying life. Every day is a gift.
Well, I want to tell you, every day you play, the gift that you give to others is immeasurable. I can't thank you enough for all of your years of providing wonderful music for so many thousands of people. It must feel good inside.
It does. I enjoy it more than anything I think I've ever done.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here today.
You're welcome.
You know, we've had so many fabulous actors and actresses and singers and dancers on the show. Kendra Gehring, I've seen her so many times on stage, and she is so entertaining.
Thank
I
you.
want to know where all this comes from. When did you start?
I started when I was in elementary school, and I lived here in Wilmington, so I am a true Opera House Theater Company baby.
You dance?
I dance.
You sing?
I sing.
You act?
I act. I direct. I do it all.
You're an asset to a theater company, aren't
I
you?
guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a lot, and I went to school for it. So I left Wilmington, I went to college, I lived in New York, I moved back.
I grew up dancing. My mom's a dance teacher, and that's how I got into it. And that's where I discovered my love for performing too. And so it just seemed natural. And I went off to school for theater, but then I came home and found out about Opera House and the Wilmington theater community.
Yeah.
And I've been part of it ever since.
You started with Opera House when? How long ago?
I started with Opera House Theater Company in about 2007.
Your minor was in theater, your major was in education?
That's correct.
Because
yes.
you're a school teacher.
I'm a school teacher.
What do you-
That's right.
what do
I
you
teach
teach?
5th grade.
You're a fifth grade
I
school
currently
teacher.
teach 5th grade. That's right.
I started doing Opera House shows when I was really little.
Yeah.
And so I've seen the span of it to where it is today.
So you're going to tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly?
I can tell you it all. No. It is. I would say though that it was my first look into theater, and what I really it's what made me want to be an actress.
My very first show back from school, I came into a rehearsal. I met all of these brand new people. One of my best friends was there as well. But Heather, my wife, she was in that very first show, and a year later we started dating. And then 5 years to the day that I met her was when I asked her to marry me. Together, we've performed in several shows. We a lot of times do them back and forth. But she's directed me on stage. I've directed her on stage. It's been a theatrical relationship.
What happens, Samantha, when you're torn between two loves? You love your work. You're teaching young children. 5th grade is pretty important in the educational process. It's like a
think so.
transition from ABCs to understanding real math, and
Right.
so you love teaching, and yet you love the theater. How do you deal with being torn between these two loves? Can you balance it all out?
Fortunately, I feel like I have been able to find somewhat of a balance, and when I'm in the classroom, I'm sort of on stage, so to speak, for part of the day.
Yes.
I involve my students in singing and dancing and acting and empathy and putting ourselves into other people's shoes in order to learn.
Must be a real high to be on stage and to know that you're moving people on an emotional level.
Oh, absolutely. And now, as somebody that has studied it my whole life, I love it. I connect with the audience. It's my goal is to make you feel something, but what I feel is very honest and real, and I want you to experience that.
It becomes a well-oiled machine. I mean, we spend several weeks rehearsing so that we can just go with it. If something happens, something changes, something is different, you just kind of make it work. We were doing Grease, and we're singing Summer Lovin', and I'm part of the ensemble, and we're doing like these fun movements, and my back foot falls off the table, and so I'm above everybody, and then suddenly below everybody, which was wildly entertaining to myself too. I mean, it was just...
Do you just keep going?
You just have to.
It's for the passion. It's for the stories that we're able to share with audiences. It's for the potential to impact someone's life in a positive way. It's for the passion that we as performers feel for performing. It's an art, and I think that if you speak to any artist, whether it's a musician, an actor, a painter, a sculptor, it's never about the money.
We come in the evenings when we're done with our jobs, with our day-to-day life, and we give our all. And it's because we're all very passionate about it. Some of us have training. I have training, but I'm not. But then some are not. They're just people that love the arts and they love performing.
Can you make enough money to do that? If you were self-reliant and you had to pay your own bills, can you make enough money in theater?
Not here.
Not doing anything else?
Not here.
Not here?
Not here in Wilmington, North Carolina, but my hope is that in New York you could any other places, but I want people to understand that when they're coming to see a show that some people ask me, you're a professional, and I am a professional. I take it very, very seriously, but I'm doing this because I love it.
It's such a warm community as far as the theater goes, and we've built our relationship and our life with these people, which is just lovely.
There are so many moving pieces in a musical. I'm always amazed by the level of synchronization between everyone performing. The actors, the choreography, the music, the lights. Even behind the scenes, there are unsung heroes who contribute immensely to the success of every performance. Tens of thousands of hours of practice all come down to one night, and the master plan has to go off without a hitch. To survive 33 years as a nonprofit theater is impressive. A combination of world-class talent, experienced directors, financial contributions, passion, pride, and hard work have made Opera House Theater Company into the flagship it is today. If you haven't had a chance to see a performance firsthand at Opera House Theater Company, you're missing out. Please visit www.operahouse.squarespace.com and click on the Purchase Tickets tab at the top. Donations are accepted on their website as well. That's all for today on What's the Matter? I'm Chuck Whitlock, and remember, if it matters to you, it matters to us. See you next time.